Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. Since the last satsang, in between, there was a full moon, and here it was celebrated as Guru Purnima, the full moon for the Guru. In the Hindu tradition, once a year, one full moon is dedicated to specially remember the Guru, worship the Guru. For non-Hindus, it's often very difficult to accept the position a Guru has in the Indian tradition. Basically, the Guru is looked at as being beyond time and space, a divine manifestation. And so for the disciples, the best course of action is to strictly adhere to whatever the Guru says. And the idea is that the Guru sees much better what's going on than the disciples. And even if there are things that are being told to do, that the disciple is having hesitations, the tradition is you are better off to do so, because the Guru knows best. Westerners often have difficulty with that idea. And it's not unfounded that one is having difficulty to accept that. Everything has advantage and disadvantage. And the advantage is if a guru is really a guru, has no hidden agenda, no personal motivation, but is in harmony with the divine, with the pure essence, the pure divinity, then of course it is a great help for the disciple simply to follow the Guru's instructions. It gives the Guru in India a tremendous position. But of course, a position like this can be misused, and many can play Guru and expect their followers to obey them unconditionally while they are still having their own stuff to work out, and then it's often ending in drama. In the years I have been giving satsang, it came again and again and again. This question, what do you think? Is a guru really necessary? Is a guru not necessary? Well, your final guru is your own self. Your own self is pure divinity. And the question whether that is necessary or not doesn't even rise. It's simply there. It's what you are. It's a fact. If we have that purity, that sincerity, that openness, and that honesty, we can connect directly with that. Then no other guru is needed. Now, as we are often not as honest and not as pure and not as clear, it is certainly a great help if we have that opportunity to connect with a being that is honestly, really, sincerely in tune with that divinity. That can speed up our process enormously because we can avoid a lot of detour, going often in wrong directions and have to retrace the steps. If there is a guide that can tell you who not recommendable, from here on the straight path. Now everybody has to figure out for themselves whether it's in their story, whether it's at all in their makeup to connect with a guru, to be capable of just following the instructions. What matters is sincerity. And even if somebody is not wanting to connect with a guru in that way, if that sincerity is there, that connection with that ultimate guru is getting clearer and clearer, and we can go that way gently but steadily. Nisargadatta, who was a great Advaitin, is still, as he has had his guru and that made all the difference in his life, he was adhering very much to that idea of a guru. He says the way, the path of faith is swift, and the path by oneself is gentle but steady. It's slow. My recommendation usually to people is just really check yourself. What do you want on your spiritual journey? Do you really want reality, the essence, the truth? Or is it just somehow an escape from the usual society life, trying to find another way of spending our time, having all kinds of ideas, what advantages it can bring, the spiritual path? If we sincerely long for truth, then actually everything will manifest all by itself. Connect as good as you can with that ultimate guru, with your own self. It's pure divinity. For somebody who is not somehow at ease with putting it this way, to connect to your own self, because self always then the idea may creep in some selfishness, some ego. You can as well just open up, connect with pure divinity, with God, in whatever form or not form. The one who is really worshipping the self, one's own true nature, is connecting with the same divinity than the devotee who connects with God. The guru's job, the manifested guru's job, is exactly that, that to catch the attention of the disciple and bring it always back to the essence and help the disciple to clear that conscious connection to that essence, to that divine nature. And then, if that connection is clear, basically the external guru's job is done, and from there the path continues spontaneously by itself. In my journey, it was extremely helpful, essential that I met a being that has taken me in under her guidance and helped me to clear up that connection. But then she proved to be a real guru, and when it was time, she also didn't try to tie me to her, but let me go. She helped me to come to that point that that connection to that inner guru was clear, and that guidance that I have been longing to get from somewhere finally came from my own self, from within, from that pure divinity. The one who is holding on to the self is holding on to pure divinity. The devotee who is worshipping God is connecting with pure divinity. And the one who is worshipping the guru, if the guru is really a guru, true, the guru is connecting with pure divinity, for the guru is the manifestation of that divinity. I think as the spirituality, the new type of spirituality that develops at present days, in future most probably these mass gurus won't be so important like now. In a society where people are already more spiritually oriented, not so many people will have the desire to hang on to a guru. Like now, there are these gurus with masses and masses of devotees. There will always be gurus, but maybe more like in olden times in a gurukula, that the guru lives with a few disciples who are just dedicated to spend their whole time and energy for spiritual practices. Sometimes people are very restless. I need a teacher, I need a teacher. I'm told I cannot get anywhere without a guru, and run from one to another, falling for all kinds of stories, getting disappointed, going away, going to another teacher, or just go from one teacher to another, as many as possible, and hope getting the most out of it. It doesn't work like that. It may create more confusion. And I recommend usually people, if you feel like going to different satsangs, then simply go if you really feel in your heart, yes, that pulls you. And then when you're there, if you feel it's for you, then you can open up. It doesn't mean that this is creating the guru shishya relationship, the guru and the disciple. But in this way, we may also get at that time the right thing, what we need. If the intention of the student is pure, then they will get what they need. But There are people who make it a bit in a sport then, to go from one to another, and then they can discuss a lot and know a lot. But it doesn't help much. Don't go out guru hunting because of the idea that we need a guru. Without a guru, nothing is possible. Your ultimate guru is always with you. Yourself is always here. Without that, that experience as a human is not there. Connect with that essence sincerely, truthfully. And then, if it should happen that an external guru appears in our life and helps us, it will happen. So we don't have to frantically run about and think, where can I possibly find a teacher, my guru, who is going to save me? Your ultimate guru is already here. Connect with that pure divinity. And then the external story will just start to manifest and unroll itself in the best way possible. People who are connected with a guru often have the tendency to tell others, you have no chance if you don't connect with a guru. And that may confuse people who are not in such a relationship a bit, but don't be afraid. You can connect here now, all the time, with that pure divinity, with your own self. That is the guru. And if that guru guides you to a manifested teacher that gives you a helping hand, then wonderful. But if we are sincere in that connection, we may also just get from different sources at the right time, the right inspiration, the right pointer, and proceed on our way. So we cannot give a final answer, this is right or that is right, this is wrong. What matters is our own sincerity, whether we really want reality, whether we really want to see through the lies that we have built up in our mind about ourselves, about our world perception, whether we are ready to give that up and come to pure reality with an innocent heart or not. If that innocence, if that sincerity is there, the road is basically clear. And then the stories are different for different people. And those who always want to impose their ideas on the others, what is right and what should be, they are not right about that. Because people are different, and what functions best for one is not necessarily functioning best for another one. To put it in Indian words, let's hold on to the lotus feet of the Guru all the time, of that ultimate Guru, of that pure divinity, of your own self. And then the guidance will come where our path goes along. Hariyo, Hariyo, Hariyo. All right, my friends. Now have been talking for a long time. I'm asking you, is there anyone who would like to come in?
Hi, Werner.
Just 1 second. Okay. Yes, hello, Ravi.
How are you?
Quite fine. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
So, I spend a lot of time at home with health reasons, and when I go out, it's nice to kind of look around me and be in a different environment. But I'm also really conscious that it's much harder to hold that sense of presence within when I'm looking around me and stuff like that.
Mm.
So I feel a little bit conflicted. Like I don't want to close it all off and just look at the ground and walk ahead and say my mantra. But at the same time, I don't like to be pulled about here and there by everything around me. And, you know, sometimes I look up and look around and sometimes I tune back in. Can you offer any other advice?
Yes,
How to navigate being, yeah.
you can do both simultaneously. You can look around at the same time, be aware of that which is perceiving, that which is seeing, that which takes the scenery in. And then you don't feel that you are getting all scattered over the place when you look out. If at the same time you are with yourself, you feel your energy, you feel how your body is reacting to the sights, to the smells, to the sounds, to whatever is happening, then looking out and coming back to yourself are not two opposite movements, but they can happen simultaneously. So if you are out and you find yourself, you're just happily looking around and you're forgetting about it, just remind yourself to be aware at the same time without having to close off your eyes. Maybe for a moment it helps. If you withdraw all attention, bring it back home to yourself, but then try to keep that awareness and you still look around. And then you don't feel that being sidetracked or distracted by it.
Yeah, I guess yeah, and that's the practice because even when I'm in that practice, I'm still the mind's going to come in and have likes and dislikes when I see things around me, and it's easy just to want to have the protection of being at home where there's less things to trigger the mind. So I guess part of that practice is also just being okay with having those judgments as they came up and still coming back to that sense of presence.
Right. You don't have to fight against likes and dislikes. I mean, within manifestation, there is nothing wrong that you have preferences. That a beautiful sight in nature may be more agreeable than a road full of traffic. There's nothing wrong with that, but we don't have to be obsessed with it and make our well-being dependent on it. If you can see things that you like, then and you feel a nice feeling, then you can accept. Wonderful, that nice feeling is that. If you see things that you don't like, then you may not have a nice feeling, but you yourself, your well-being need not be affected by it. And then these little reactions that come, they are not the problem. It's simply if we let them rule us, then it becomes a problem.
And how would we let them rule us? By
By forgetting connecting with yourself, and then just being helplessly always in reaction to whatever is happening, to whatever we see around.
So the likes and dislikes, maybe you can say that I understood that last bit of what you said, but the likes and dislikes that might come up might be a sense of, it could be lust or it could be judgment. And did you say there's nothing wrong with that? I can't remember the words you chose then.
I mean, you have preferences, but when it's then coming to judgments, then you see people and you think, this one is not good and blah blah. There you can say, so what? He's essentially the same divinity, and if he is disconnected from that, it's not because he is essentially bad, but he's not. He's a bit diluted and hasn't a clear connection. We don't have to brand them bad and sort of create in ourselves something that drains our energy, that hurts us. Because if we hold on to that, seeing the other and we judge them, then we are doing actually harm to ourselves. That doesn't mean we have to be hypocrite and say, no, no, everything is so wonderful and nice. We can very well discriminate that certain things are absolutely not nice. And some things are very nice, but without getting into that emotional judgmentality that makes us again react helplessly, being a victim of the situation. The more you are connecting with yourself, the more you can accept seeing also things that are obviously disharmonious, that are wrong, without getting into that emotional judgmentality. Accepting, okay, this is how it is, and the people who are involved there, they simply don't know better because they don't have that clear conscious connections with their own divine nature.
I think that's, sorry, it's taking a while to me work out what's going in my brain with the question I was asking. I think the essence of my question is more about lust. And for instance, I live near the beach and I notice that there's either I lose myself in looking at people's bodies away from my practice.
Yeah.
And then there's a sense of either judging, as in it's a physical appearance thing of liking or disliking.
Yeah.
How to work with that sense of sexual attraction to the physical or dislike of the physical form.
Yeah. Then you come to that what I said in the beginning. All right, you see somebody attractive and there is a sexual reaction. And then instead of feeling ashamed how unspiritual you are, then you can accept, okay, this is the reaction of a healthy body. And instead of being totally fixed on the object of observation, bring the attention back and see what it is doing in your body. And if you are not at war with it, and then also you are not feeding it, it's not getting you overwhelmed, that you are getting restless and disturbed, then you just see all kinds of energies that are happening in the body. And if you learn to relax, then more and more actually you can harmonize that. And then the same energy that manifests in sexual energy and that usually makes people very restless, if we are harmonizing it in our own self and not more being dependent on it and not more looking it as an enemy, but just see it as life force, then actually it stops being an experience that drives us away from our spiritual selves.
Thank you, Werner. That's really helpful. And when you said, I'm just plugging in my phone because the battery's low.
Yeah, right.
Just one moment. And when you said like feel what the experience is doing to you in your body,
yeah,
can that just be a momentary thing where I just feel whatever it is, the strong desire or whatever it is? It can be a momentary thing, and then I just choose to drop it and go into my breath and relax. Can it be as simple as that?
it can be as simple as that. And you can just let that energy there and see what it is doing. And gradually, the more familiar you become with the energy directly, the more you can also learn to, in your body, redirect it. That instead of just going down in the body and making you restless, that it can also from the lower part in the body be directed upwards and more be connected with a sense of peace and harmony.
Just, but sorry, I missed that. By going into that state, how does one do that?
Well, it's not
by relaxing.
It's not such an easy thing, but one can learn to gently try instead of fighting with the energy. Okay, then withdraw the attention from the situation that brought the energy about and just feel the energy, and then can gently start to attempt to redirect it, that it flows upwards in the body and distributes. And the more you are capable of doing so, the more it's accompanied with a sense of peace and harmony instead of restlessness.
Thank you. I think it's exactly what you said before. There's two things that are going on with the lust. It's the one thing is I'm getting lost in it, and I'm fighting with myself not to go there, but then there's the compulsion, and with that there's that I shouldn't be doing that, and then all those things that you said. So thank you for making it so clear. I appreciate it.
The problem is mental. Then when the energy comes, when a sight is there, you see an attractive person, and then after that the problem comes when all the imagination comes and the mental games that we are playing, and then the spiritual part of your mind says no good. And then just try to withdraw the attention from that level more and come more back to the energetic experience. And see, actually, the sexual energy is not something bad. It's the strongest energy in the body, but we can learn that it's, instead of creating trouble and restlessness, it can bring along with itself peace and harmony.
Okay.
Problems are always in the mind, huh?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Wish you well.
Thank you. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to comment? You're welcome.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, Leora.
I have two questions. One about what you spoke about the guru.
Yeah.
I wonder actually what makes a person, a teacher or a person, a guru, and I wonder if part of it is what we as not gurus put on this person or expect, or somehow it's being built through the relationship. Like also, I think when I mention you, I say my teacher from India, and people sometimes they ask like, your guru, you mean? And they say, no, he's not a guru as far as I know. Actually, so what makes a person a guru?
What makes the person a guru? Actually, no person is a guru. The guru is the pure divinity. But then in the society, of course, it depends how one uses the word. I mean, in India, some traditions use the word very lightly. For example, for the traditional classic music, they have the tradition that they call their music teacher guru.
Oh, okay.
Right. But what I meant before with a real guru, that guru has not really the idea, I'm a guru. I'm that person who is a guru. It's more the relationship with the
Yeah,
disciple that creates the
yeah.
guru. Yeah,
That's what I actually thought.
yeah,
This is what I said in the beginning. Okay, now I wanted to ask about the illusion of continuity.
yeah,
Something I've been wondering, not so much intellectual, but it's somehow I feel something is falling apart for the way I'm like my relationship with what we call time, let's say, or like me in this progress of life, if there is a progress. Um, I think you know what I'm asking.
And so this makes you a bit insecure that you don't have the,
No,
no?
no, no, not at all. Specifically, these times now in Israel are extremely unsecure.
Yes,
There is a cloud of big danger. Now it's no more, let's say, maybe. It's no more a maybe. It's real now. So there is insecurity. Can I say
yeah,
but it's not really. Maybe it is connected with that. But also, I think my spiritual development and my age also. I feel I used to relate to my life story and to relationships with people and mm, events as if there is a motive of continuity there. And unless I feel this motive somehow, and it doesn't make not insecurity. No, it's actually it feels like freedom.
mm,
It feels like freedom. My mind somehow, my spirit is lighter.
yeah.
Somehow I feel, yeah.
And basically you would like me to confirm that you feel more
No,
confident about it.
and no, I wonder. Yeah, maybe I said it all. Actually, I don't know
Yeah,
the
yeah,
illusion of continuity. Maybe, yeah. Once I said it that way, maybe I said it all. Yeah.
right. Usually people have that sense of security if they are clear about their life, their continuity with all the events one day after another, with all the memories that forms their worldview, and having a clear, firm worldview gives a sense of security, but it's a false sense of security because we are actually creating that. It's a creation of our mind. Of course, there are memories, but these are flashes, these are experiences. And to create that idea that my existence is sort of the outcome of all these memories and the continuity that is there is wrong. It's simply the image I have about myself that is created
Yeah.
by that. We are prior to that. And we talked about it before, and then I said to you, you are timeless. The question of continuity doesn't even rise for what we are. And then in our life as a person, that holding on to the continuity is trying to keep that security that I am as a person intact and somehow on top of the situation. But the more we are capable of detaching from that person role, the less that is important. And then it can seem like a lot of things seem to start to fall apart a bit. But
Yeah.
if that awareness is there, but I am prior to that, and this is not being touched by what is happening, then this falling apart from that apparent continuous stream of events that are connected doesn't matter. And then we can accept, okay, that continuity I have created with my timeless presence, somehow it has been created, but actually it's just a string of flashes that are not in that way connected as we have produced it before in the mind. But if that sense of security is not dependent on that, then it doesn't matter. Then okay, it's just memories. There is only the timeless now. All else is in the mind.
Yeah, so now when you were talking, I was thinking about my memories from childhood, and for so many years, my life story, my childhood was a base for for my life story, I can say. And my childhood was literally horrible, and it's quite a miracle, like that I am how I am now. And recently, I've been actively talking to myself within my head. Just let go of these memories. Just let go of these beliefs that your child was horrible. It was what it was. I still have the need to say it was what it was, horrible, but I really have this inner speech with myself. Um, like if you keep holding on to this story, then you can't be happy.
Yeah.
Somehow there's always something that holding you, like connecting you to like negative, actually negative energy, I would say even. So since I've been doing that, it's not easy. Not easy.
But that's the
Because
crucial factor.
that's a crucial,
Not holding on to. It's not that you somehow have to try to push away your memories. It's not that you somehow have to try to put the sugar coating on your memories.
No.
But not more holding on to as if it was a reality. It's just a memory. And it has only the reality we give it. But the memory is a memory. It's not real. There is only now that is real, and all else is in the mind. So even if we remember horrible stories from earlier in the life, it's just a memory and it has not more reality than what we give it. So if we stop holding on to emotionally, then it's just a memory, it's just a story. And from that story, we can draw wisdom, but it's not more there as a weight that holds us down and that forces us to have reactions that we don't really want to.
Yeah, yeah, so what I feel is that actually I feel more brave. Yes. Because then, because I am who I am, and then I can do what I am. Yes. And I don't have to hold myself back because I was a miserable, I had this miserable, It's very clear to me now when listening to you. It's very clear. Like
great.
I have more rights, more everything. I have more power
right.
To take my decisions and to be generous. What I spoke before, and
If we are not more emotionally feeding a life into the memory a reality that they don't really deserve, then you're free of the past. It's still there as a storehouse of information from which we can draw whenever something is useful in the present moment, something useful like like the memory of a computer. There's a lot of information there we can draw from it when it's useful, but we are not emotionally attached to those memories.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
in our life story, we have the tendency to be emotionally attached, and then we are feeding our life force into that memory and give it a reality it doesn't deserve. It's simply there as a memory, and for that it's useful. It makes us wiser for the experience, but that not more holding on to is the crucial factor. Then you are free of the past. Then you
Yeah.
live now, timelessly now.
Yeah. Okay, Werner, thank you so much.
You are welcome. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. And with that, earlier somebody has written a message and would actually wanted that I talk about memory, how to deal with memory. And that's basically just what I said. Look at memory as information that is there. There are memories that are nice, there are memories that are very horrible, and we have different emotional reactions to it. Even if the memory comes and there is an emotional reaction, if we see that emotional reaction, let it come, observe it, and let it go. There is no harm. But there are memories we have the tendency to hook in and rethink about it and rethink about it and hold on. Either somebody who has had a nice time is so sad that it has passed and gets more and more sad and depressed because it's not more there. And then there we are giving that memory a life that it doesn't deserve. It's just a memory. And even if a nice emotion comes, remembering certain incidents, then we can accept now, in the present, this experience, that emotion that comes, that is there a moment that goes. And the opposite, terrible situations. Somebody did something terrible to us. And then there comes anger. And there, if we hook into it, if we hold on to it, we start to think about the situation again, start to think about the injustice and feed that energy into it and make again a big history about something that is just a memory, that has not more reality than being a memory, that has not more reality than what we give it. If we stop doing that, then the memory are a precious store of information. Or I said now somebody did something to us, or there is a memory that I feel so bad because I did something so stupid, so bad. Maybe I hurt somebody, maybe I didn't hurt somebody, I just was acting stupid, and then the memory comes and I feel again that embarrassment and think about it and make it bigger. I'm holding on to the past as if it had a reality more than being in the memory. There is only now, timeless. Now we are experiencing. Now we are alive. Now you can think. Now you can feel. Now you smell, you taste, you touch. Life is only now. Even the moment before is already just a memory. It's a totally different category. That sparkling beauty of existence is timeless now. that which has happened is only in the mind. That which may happen is something that we have as an expectation, as potential. It's in the mind. But here now you are touching life, reality. If we hold on to that, then the memories become what they are supposed to be. Okay, there are happy memories, there are unhappy memories. There are memories that I did great things, that there are memories that I did stupid things. If we just see them as memories and draw the wisdom from them, then they are great, whether they are nice or not nice memories. Then they are useful. As I said to Leora just before, then it's becoming like the memory of a computer. A lot of useful information is in it that we can draw out in the present moment when it's practically useful, and then leave it there again. And sometimes if just a memory springs up and along with it some feelings, we can accept, okay, the memory comes, the experience of the emotion is now. And if we stick with that and experience the emotion, it comes, it's there a moment, it goes, no harm in it. It's simply if we emotionally hook into the past and get stuck there and turn it around and round, then it can become such a heavy weight in the present that we hardly can have any energy left to act reasonably, to be functional. So we have to free ourselves from draining our energy by holding on, hooking into the past. That doesn't mean we have to push away memories. Good ones, bad ones, okay, they are there. It's a storehouse of information. If we treat it like this, there is no harm with our memories, no matter what type they are. But then that life force, that prana, that strength, that creativity we are losing by hooking into it is there at our disposal for experiencing the present moment, to be consciously conscious in the present moment, and to express it in a creative, harmonious, beautiful, joyous way. So treat memory just as a source of information without being hooked emotionally to it and proved, oh, I should not have acted like this, I should not have done that, what can I do? Can I not change the past? The past is past. We can change the memory, okay, we can do all kinds of things, but let the memory be as it is, just accept it's past, it's not real, it's just a memory. There is only reality now. If we are clear about that, the memories stop being a problem. Okay, enough about memories. And I'm asking you, my friends, again, is there anyone who would like to come in and say something? You're welcome.
Hi.
Hello, Andreas.
But like if I'm feeling hurt, for example, it's usually that I don't manage to just see it as a memory, and there's like a picture of myself that I'm creating, that I'm constantly reinforcing, and a lot of times I don't get out of it by, yeah. I mean, maybe I don't manage to come back to the moment and completely get rid of the picture that or the negative picture that I'm just drawing of myself in that moment.
Right, because then we forget also to do so and get completely involved. And so long as we don't remember to even attempt, then of course we cannot do anything. But once you become aware, then you can turn the attention around. And instead of just being totally in the situation that the memory brings about, bring it back to your experience right now and see how the memory is affecting your experience right now. And if you start to put the attention there, already you are detaching from the past. You're detaching from judging yourself or judging others or being pulled into negativity because of it. Then you just see the emotion now, see what it is doing to your experience physically, energetically, and you can start to relax. And if you do that, then the power that is still hooked in the memory is slowly withdrawn. It may then after a moment go and you think, it's gone, but then the next day the same thing may come back again quite charged. And then when you become aware, as long as you are not aware and just are into it, you cannot do anything. But the moment you become aware, you just turn the attention around and see what it is doing to your present experience and learn to relax. And if you treat even a very, very charged memory as many times as it is necessary, like that, then eventually it's just a story and has lost the power to make you again heavy or depressed or whatever it has been doing.
Usually it doesn't take till the next day till the memory comes back. Usually it's back after like 1 minute.
Right, but maybe if you have treated like this, okay, then again you continue, and then the moment may come that you feel relieved, like it's gone, and you may think, okay, the energy that was locked into it has been withdrawn and it's resolved. But then when the memory comes back another time, you feel, there is still a lot of charge there. There is still a lot of emotion hooked into it. But then if you do it again, even if you are not quite aware that this is happening, definitely that charge is getting less. And eventually the same memory that was able to torture you becomes just what it is, a memory, a story.
Maybe I'm not able to really tune into the energy rightly, because usually I start to like, watch my breath, and then like, the problem usually just disappears, and the energy is that it was difficult before somehow disappears, but I cannot really tune into the sadness, or like the energy very quickly changes, and I'm not sure if I'm doing that rightly.
If it changes and leaves you in peace, fine, and the next time it comes back, you do the same. But if somehow it just keeps on nagging, then maybe you tell yourself, okay, let all the emotions come that are connected to that memory. Instead of try to bypass them, you say, all right, somehow it's not getting resolved, it keeps on nagging, then accept, all right, open up to all the emotions that are connected to that past event, to that memory, and let them flood your body and observe what they are doing, how much tensions they may create, how many knots they create in your belly, and you start to relax. And there, in that conscious relaxing of the effect that they have, those emotions, then the detachment from the memory is really happening.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Hari Om. Hari Om. I saw before Vikas also opened up. You want to come in, Vikas? Oh, yes. There you are. Hello.
Hari Om, Werner. How are you?
Quite fine. Hari Om.
Werner, I have 2 questions. First question is, previously the times were such that there were no mobile phones and there was no distractions in our life. Everything was peaceful, and we had choices in our life. But now there are so many choices and there are so many distractions like WhatsApp, and there are so many messaging apps. Now I feel that it is very draining. It is very draining. Like I know that too much of energy into sexual thoughts, it takes away your health, it takes away your spiritual strength. Similarly, I feel these apps and mobile phone is also draining a lot of energy. So one, how to get out of this, and where is this energy going? Who is taking that energy? Is there some sort of devil who's taking that energy?
Whether it's what?
Some sort of devil or like,
Some sort of devil. You can say so in an abstract sense. You're feeding the whole sankalpa that is at the base of the technology. And unfortunately, the sankalpa is not a positive one. Technology as such is neutral. It's not good, it's not bad. But unfortunately, at the base of those who are developing technology, there was always a very selfish intent. And somehow the more we get hooked into it, the more we actually are feeding that. You're right. It's kind of a devil that is taking away that energy. So then how to do so? It's not that you have now to throw away your mobile phone and your computer, and we are living in the present world. And as I said, technology as such is neutral. It's neither good nor bad. But if you see how much it has become addictive, that it's an addiction to always pull out the phone and see whether there is something, or do a lot of stuff all the time. There you can learn to sincerely and quite a lot reduce and use the phone more for what it is useful. If you really want to communicate with somebody, then communicate. It's very helpful that you can so instantly communicate with somebody. But then don't simply search out to whom could I send something, and go on and on and on messaging just for the sake of messaging. Or going on and looking on the internet for this or for that, simply to distract yourself. If you have something that you want to figure out and you want some information, by all means, go for the information. And if you want in between just a little bit entertainment, then you can tell yourself, okay, I can allow myself some time for simply entertaining myself, watching some videos or God knows what. But then when you have watched it, don't stick with it on and on and on and say, okay, that was that, and now I put it away. You said previous, when it didn't have all these devices, then people were at peace. No, they were not at peace either. They find other ways of distracting themselves, but the temptation to be distracted with these devices is enormous. It's crazy. You go out and you see people walking in nature, and they have always their phone in front of their head. It's always that, and mobile phone all the time. And there, it's good that you develop a self-discipline, that you say, okay, I can use it for what it's useful. I can use it, allow myself some time for entertainment, but then I put it away. I don't have that damn thing ruling my life. And then it stops feeling that it's draining you. But it needs a clarity and the discipline to do then what you decide to do.
thank you, Werner. Werner, my second question is, it is just a thought. You may not choose to answer it. It is about in Mahabharata, there is a story of Eklavya, where Guru Drona was Arjun was his favorite student, and he found that Eklavya, there was a tribal archer, and he used to worship Guru Drona with a statue, and he
Yes.
found that he was a better archer and he could fix arrows in the mouth of a dog, and there was no blood coming out of the mouth of that barking dog. And then he asked him that you should, since I am your guru, give me your thumb. Then like, this is not a guru like behavior, right? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Right, I know that story, and right, it's a disturbing story. His argument is that he is not a kshatriya, he is not having the right to do this archery. So if he believes that if the student believes that I'm the guru, then I tell you, cut your tongue off, and then you cannot more use your bow. Actually, it's not my type of story. I cannot really give you an answer. That
Right.
it's an ancient story. It belongs to another time. It has nothing right to do with our life now. But
Right.
if you ask in the context of what I said, if you have a guru, then if the guru is really a guru, means really a manifestation of that pure divinity, and the guru asks you to do things that seem strange to you, that you're better advised to follow them, I still think so. But a guru is not going to do something that is just causing you harm, but it's always with the best intention to help you to develop spiritually. Now, this teacher, he was not a guru. He was a teacher for war, the art of war. So he was not a pure manifestation of divinity. They give it the word of guru there in the, because as I said, also in the music, they call the teacher a guru. So then the word guru has another meaning. But the other boy, poor boy, innocently, he took him as his great guru, and simply by worshipping him without having any instructions and contacts, developed his archery skills. And then certainly that was not the act of a spiritual guru who has only the best in his heart, the best intention for the disciple. It was not because he thought it's the best for his spiritual progress that he's not shooting, but he was hanging on to that idea. This is only the kshatriya has the right to do so. So this other fellow, even if he is good, and even if he's worshipping me as his teacher, his guru, he doesn't have the right. So it's not the act of a spiritual guru, no. It's the act of a teacher who is caught in his conditioning.
Right. Lovely. Last thing which I wanted to share is that yesterday I saw a movie called as Soul, 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 animated movie.
Mhm.
So this movie is very deep movie, though it is for 7+ age group, but it is about how soul enters the earth and then it manifests into life form and its purpose of life and passion. So I recommend all to see this movie. It's really nice.
Okay.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hi,
Okay.
Werner.
Hello.
Can you hear?
Nava.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hello.
Werner. Um, for some days this past week, it was a different experience for me. I felt like the thoughts were all there, and my thoughts were there, my emotions were there, but there was something underneath it all that felt expansive. It's the best word I have.
Yes.
Okay. I could look up at the sky, see the expanse, but for the first time I felt that inside of myself as well. It was as if they were meeting. This morning I got news. A friend of mine is in hospital, has had a very bad accident. And it's much more difficult. I feel more like, instead of them being there simultaneously, you know, the thoughts, the emotions, and then something else, I have to go back and forth. I can't seem to hold both of them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know how to be able to hold all of it the way I was able to when things were a little more settled.
Right. It's not by force that it's going to happen. And it's not really in your hands how much you are successful all the time opening up that it can happen. And as long as the things are happening relatively nice and smoothly, it's a bit easier to experience that. And then comes a tragedy like this, and then it's more likely that we are yanked out of it. And you can, it's not that you have to somehow try to remember how did it come about and reproduce it. But the memory of how it happened effortlessly, spontaneously in the last days, the last week, then that memory can be an inspiration just to open the heart. And then that's basically all you can do to make yourself available that it happens again. You can't force it about. You can withdraw and connect as good as you can and bring that awareness of the connection as good as you can into the situation where you are. And even in a situation that is not easy emotionally, like what you are describing now, but then whether you are successful, that it stays there, that the awareness is there, even in a trying situation, being aware that there is something totally unaffected and expansive there. You can't force it. You just can make yourself available by opening the heart, by connecting as good as you can, relaxing in it rather than trying to force it, and then accept it as the higher will, God's will, how much it is manifesting. I mean, what you describe is very nice, and it is very, very rare that such a thing happens and after that just stays. That usually we have a moment of grace like this, maybe in days of grace, and it's happening, and then it's again disappearing, and we think, what did I do wrong? Why has it gone? What mistake have I done? But it's not that you have done a mistake, it was just not time out for different reason. One reason may simply be that your system was not quite ready to keep on having that more intense energy all the time there, but needs a bit of break to come up. The system can grow and become stronger and can be able to stand stronger and stronger energies. But sometimes we may get a grace and an opening, but then if it would stay, it would be too much also for the nervous system. And so it's more like also a natural shutting down that the nervous system can become stronger and is capable again to do so. So don't think that you made a mistake, but rather look back, thank you very much for those days of grace. They are inspiring. They can help you to open the heart, to make yourself available. And then it's not really in your hands. It's not by an act of will that you can force it about, but you can be ready that if that comes again, you can wholeheartedly embrace it.
It was grace. I'll just add that it was under difficult circumstances.
Yeah.
And that's why it surprised me that it was as if everything was there simultaneously. Now I feel like I'm either one or the other. Either I'm very, very worried about what's going to happen with my friend, or I can just leave it for a moment, open up again, and then my friend comes back into it. So I feel like I'm jumping back and forth instead of, and what I'm wondering is it's possible for all of it to be together.
It is possible for, I mean, you can see the situation and then the worry doesn't come. Not in the sense of how we are usually worrying and really letting us be weighted down and wondering, oh, what is when this happens and what can I do to help, and all the things that seem to be so heavy. But it can happen that you are totally confronted with an emotionally charged situation and still be aware that there is something in you, there is something in your friend that is not affected by it. And then just be with the friend, connect with the friend, will more and more also let something from your inner experience flow over to the friend and help. But you cannot really do it. So as long as you are aware, then at least you can jump. At least you can, for moments, come out of it and have a respite, and then it takes you again. And it's not that there is a recipe how not to let it happen. As long as you are aware of it, at least then it's not getting stronger and stronger, because as long as we are not conscious of it, we are doing that all the time, slipping into things and reinforcing it. But being aware that this is happening is already that you are open for that it can come back, what you have experienced the last day. That the awareness, then you are not strengthening that habit of being caught up in that worrying role, but you rather observe, oh, there I'm going again, worrying. There is something in the mind simply from our conditioning, from our upbringing, that we feel in such a situation, it's like it's my duty to be worried.
Yes.
If I'm not worried, then what kind of friend am I? What kind of person am I? Seeing such a situation that like it's my duty, and there we are totally wrong. It's not that we are helping anyone by worrying, by feeling very crushed because of situation, but we're just adding more negativity. But somehow we have been trained in such a way that it seems that we have to be like this in order to be a compassionate and understanding person, but it's wrong. Your most compassionate act is that you are aware there is that aspect in you that is expansive and not affected by it, and then connect with the pain and with the difficult situation of a friend, and then something very beautiful, something constructive and delightful and positive flows to the friend. If we are just worrying with the friend, then we're just worrying together and creating double negativity.
I think that's very right, because when I'm not overly worried, I think, what's wrong? I can't be
Yes.
connecting to something else. Yeah.
Yes. And if you
that
see
seems like
this,
it may. Oh,
if you see
Oh.
these kind of thoughts, these kind of feelings, you can really say, this is nonsense that has been trained in my brain and it's time to get rid of it.
mhm. That answers my, in some ways, my original question. It's possible to feel expansive, be concerned about my friend, but not be lost in it.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
It is possible. I mean, concerned, it depends how you interpret the word. To connect, to be in touch, not to cut that connection. To connect
Mhm.
with your friend, but not concerned because many times the word is being interpreted exactly to worry about somebody. you can connect and see the pain and see the situation and see the difficulty and feel it in your heart, and at the same time you can be aware, but there is that expansiveness that is absolutely not touched by it. This is all momentary experience. It comes, it goes, it changes all the time, but the other is like a rock, immovable.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Wish you well. Hario, Hario.
I
We have taken in so many things in our upbringing from the world, from the surroundings, from seeing how the whole humanity is functioning. And we take it to be normal, natural. And it is not normal or natural, it's something that we have learned and something actually that is unnatural. It's just usual. It's so easy to think that you are not a good person if I'm not getting crushed and in pain because I see the pain of somebody else. It's my duty to feel the same thing. We can, of course, see the pain and feel the pain, but at the same time, know perfectly well there is that real essence of us that is not affected, that is aware of everything, but unattached. And there, the old conditioned moral personality may come in and say, but this is not compassionate, this is not nice, so we have to be a good person, so we have to feel bad about the bad situation. That bad feeling may come a moment and then we can let it go. And there's nothing bad about that. Let us be very, very clear. If we hold on to that, we are just bringing more negativity in the situation. It's important that we learn to accept that lots of the stuff that we took for granted simply because we were conditioned like this. If we really have a good, clear look at it, it becomes obvious. We can let it go, and it's not that we are becoming insensitive because of it. In contrary, if we are not carrying that ballast with us, then the ability to see, to experience pain and suffering, but at the same time be aware it's momentary. What is important is that which is not touched by it. Be rooted in that and then deal with the ever-changing reality on this level. Sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's unhappy. And we can be very open and sensitive to the suffering, to the pain of others, and still be aware. There is that joyous beingness, expansive beauty that is not affected. And we can make that in our root, our home, no matter what is happening. It's not that we become a bad person. In contrary, you become a source of inspiration, a source of beauty and strength that even in difficult situations is capable of supporting others, encouraging others, and bringing something nice and helpful, beautiful to them. I wish you all well. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.